Hi, my name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Papers and the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group. And if you're a member of the Facebook group, you'll get step-by-step PDF instructions on how to do every single page all the way up to today's, which is page 34, in a PDF, and only the members get that. So like I just said, today is page 34. And this is page 34 in the page-by-page collaboration with Kyung Shotwell. I'm sorry, I forgot to say that at the beginning. And all of Kyung's links are below, so be sure to go visit her YouTube channel to see what her video is for today. And then also visit her Etsy store, because she has all kinds of awesome junk journals for sale. And then she has a ton of really cool junk journal kits for sale. Okay, so today's industrial, and industrial was not on our list. I looked twice. So I'm using this as one of Kyung's wild cards, because I think she just pulled the prompt out of the air. I'm just saying. I panicked when I saw the topic of industrial, because I'm like, wow, what am I gonna do? What are we gonna do? And it took me a while to figure something out. So anyway, that's enough of that. Set that to the side. This is the second signature, and it's getting pretty fat. And we're gonna be doing page 34. But it's so curved, and we're going to be using a magnet. I'm afraid about the curvature, and so we're actually going to put the page that we make on page 35, and next week when we do 35, we'll put it on page 34. We could take this out, and you know, it'll be flat enough to glue everything to, but I'm afraid that once the page is put back in the book, that it will curve too much and the magnets won't hold what I need for it to hold. Okay, so now the images for today I got off the internet. They're copyright free. You can find them. If you want me to send them to you, then just private message me, and I will send you the 2 files that I used. So I got them from Google Images, and I just searched industrial gears, because I ended up using gears. So there's also a kit, if you want to use a kit, called Industrial Grunge by Pink Monarch, and that one would work too, you know, depending on what kind of industrial you're doing. Okay, so that's that. Now I can put that to the side. I can put this away. And what you're going to need for today, let me first say, is you're going to need some black soot ink. Of course you are. Then you're going to need 2 magnets. And this is just stuff that we're going to talk about. Let me put the signature away. And this is what we're going to use for today. Now, I used my die cut machine, which is my brother's Scan and Cut. And this is one thing it does do well, which is cut SVG files. At the end of this video is going to be a short computer tutorial on how to find SVG files, which I posted one of them on the group and on YouTube. But I'm going to also show you how to find the ones specific for this project, and also how to find some on Google Images. All right, so if you want to watch that, you can watch all the way through to the end. If not, you can just watch through to the end of what we're doing for the page. Okay, so I used my die cut machine to do these images. Now, the first thing I did was I went online and I found this gear image, and it had a smaller circle in the center, which I knew was not going to work for what I wanted to do. So then I went ahead and downloaded the image, and went ahead and, I downloaded one that just had a single circle in the middle, which still wasn't going to work for what I needed, but I made it work. And what I did briefly is I cut one I imported the picture into the software, and then I cut one out, and then I did one size larger, and then I cut it out, and that's how I got these circles, which are one size larger. Okay, and then so you're going to need the circles one size larger, one in the image, and one white and kind of scruffed up. Okay, because we don't want it to be bright white. I used this instead of a brush because I forgot, but I had already been inking, so it wasn't fresh off the stamp, or you're going to have that one circle that starts out, and that's never good. All right, I would recommend using your brush. The brushes look like this. Get the small ones. They have stiffer bristles versus, oh, I took them all out of my cup because I can't use them. Anyway, use the smaller ones. They have the stiffer bristles. They come in two sizes, small and large. A lot of the sets that you can buy are partially small and partially large. They're like kits of 10. Don't get that. You're never going to use the large ones. Well, you might. I mean, you might. It just depends on your preference. My preference is the smaller ones. Having said all that, so I ended up with the center image of the bigger one. So then, without changing the file or anything, then I cut one of the larger ones out in white. And that gave me the white circle that's the same size as the center circle of the bigger one. Is that making sense right now? So that I would have a back for this. Now this is printed out on both sides because it came out of a gear like this, and I thought I was going to be able to use the back, the white one size smaller, and to see some of the edge, but it was just too much number crunching for me in that software. I'm not that good at the software. Oh, and I'll show you real quick on the Brother Scan and Cut software real quick what I did. Okay, so having said all that, so I've got a gear, and I inked it really dark in black because the paper is also from the internet, and it's lighter, but they're very similar in color, but you can see when you put it down with the heavy black inking, then it stands out. Now, I went ahead and inked this because it would have been an exercise in boredom for you to watch me do this. It took me 3 tries to get the inking as dark as I got it. And let me give you a little tip to get down inside this little notch right here. Offset your sponge if you're using the sponges that are flat, which I would recommend the flat ones for this. I do like the domed ones better though. On a side note, I just started using them on recommendation from other crafters. I think Kyung was one of them actually. Anyway, one of the flat ones, and then shift it over to the side a little bit so that it sticks out, and then just ink the edge, and then you can turn it sideways and get down in these crevices, and you'll be able to ink this. All right, that's your tip for today. Black soot, offset sponge, or as they're known, inker, or dauber, or daubing tool. So anyway, what we're going to do today is very, very simple. And I had to keep it that way because my brain hurt from having to do industrial. It's not fair. Anyway, no, it's all fine. I don't care. So what we're going to do, this image is still too big to fit on the page, and I didn't want to go in the software, and I didn't want to double print another page, which ended up, I wouldn't have had to have it double-sided. But anyway, it's just my state of confusion at 2:30 in the morning on 2 hours sleep. So what we're going to do is we're going to line it up with the left edge, and then that's going to leave part of one of the cogs on the gear sticking out. Now that's all fine for us. Oh, that was why I printed it on both sides, because part of it was going to stick out. because once I figured out that it was going to stick out, that's Oz making his appearance. Everybody say, hi, Oz. Anyway, once I realized that the image I had was not going to fit, I just printed out another one double-sided. Hold on just one moment. Oz, one. Get away from the door. Good grief. I didn't want to take my mic off and put you on pause and go in there if I didn't have to. We'll see. What was I saying? Oh, so the part that sticks out, I wanted to put a charm on it, but it's only one thickness of paper, so I don't think an eyelet would work. I think it would be too, even as flat as it goes, you would need a double thickness of paper in order for it not to wiggle up and down, or the back to not come out correctly, you know, when it gets smushed. And I did this too much and used up too much paper. I don't mind about the ink because I'm on the HP ink program. But our neighbor has a new pit bull puppy, and whenever he takes it out outside our door, my dog loses his mind because he's old. And so anyway, what I've decided to use is a bulb pen. And then my friend Tommy, the goth crafter, is how you would know her online. Just check her out. She's got awesome tutorials. Sent me some keys, and I've been wanting to use them. I've used one in another project. I think it was in the Page by Page 2 project, but I'm not sure. And so this is the key that turns on the machine that gets the gears to go. That's my story of the page. Okay, so we're just going to use the bulb pin, and we're going to attach it here so that the charm hangs. And you don't want a very big charm because you don't want it pulling on this thin paper too much. Okay, all right, so that's what we're going to do. So let's do it. We're also going to use the center as a writing card. This is our backing paper, which is going to be black this week. Set that to the side for now. So let's glue this gear on and just have fun inking that. Oh, let me tell you the other thing. You're probably like, there's another thing. The other thing is that if you're doing this by hand, don't despair. Okay, all you have to do is find your image of your gear, and then print it out on the back of a piece of printed paper. Then you can use it as a guide to cut it out, and the only thing is that yours will be black on the back, which I don't think would be a problem anyway. You know, if the back of this little piece that stuck out was black and not this, which I didn't ink. Goodness. Let me ink just the part that's going to stick out on the back. We'll have to make sure that's the part that sticks out. So I'm going to do like 3 of them just in case. Just like I inked both sides of the white paper just in case. And this is how it goes. And then you ink the side. And then you go down in here like that. And you see it gets that center. How many have we done? Let's do one more. It's an exercise in patience, that is for sure. All right, now, hopefully, you know what we can do as well. I can take my white chalk pencil, and I can make an X on the area I want to stick out. And you won't be able to see it because it's not going to stick out that far. And if so, it's chalk. We can just erase it. Okay? Good idea, Terry. Just came up with it on the fly. Get it? Flywheel. Never mind. Bad joke number one. All right, so let's put some glue on this, except on the cog, or the teeth on the gear that are going to stick out. I think I keep calling it cogs, and they're not. They're the teeth. So let's not glue here. Where, let's say, let's erase this. We'll use it as a not glue thing too. So we'll make the X right here. And we won't glue that one. How much is going to stick out? 1. See if I do it where that's flat. So this one and this one. We won't glue. The rest of it will glue. Okay. So we're just going to glue everything. And I'm going to glue a little extra in the center, because I want to be able to kind of move it around a little bit until I get that one that's sticking out in just the right spot. So we have to ink all of the teeth because we don't want them sticking out or up off the paper. This is almost like inking them, isn't it? No, it's nothing like inking them, especially because I had to do it like 3 times to get it super dark. Then don't forget to ink the center as well. I just inked the one with the white chalk on it because there was 2. And then there was 1. Okay. Alright, so we have to make sure this is the main one that sticks off. So I'll put my finger on it. Make sure it sticks off. We can actually, there we go. That should be enough. And so we'll just use it like a tab. It makes this a little off center, which is kind of cool. Doesn't necessarily have to be in the center. And actually I could have put it up here and it would have been a little more interesting. Then you could have seen more of the page because we're kind of covering this up. But if you really wanted to be good, and I didn't think of it, is you could cut another white one and put the white, or just, you know, a bigger one, and put the white on the paper. Then when you take this off, which is what we're going to be able to do, not only would you be able to write on the back side, but you would be able to write in here, which it's light enough. You could write in there. Okay, but it also looks kind of neat that it's the little cogs and whatever in there. The little graphics, little mechanical drawing things. All right, so now we're going to put a magnet in the middle here. I had to write that little reminder to myself. Put a magnet here, and we're going to put a magnet on the back of the paper wherever it fits. And that magnet moved because I had these a little close enough that it moved. So let's put it back in the center, and we'll try not to influence it anymore. We'll try not to be a bad influence. Oh, my phone's gonna ding, and I have several friends who have brothers, sisters, loved ones that are in the hospital, And so I needed to be able to see the messages. This one is not one that I need to put you on pause for and reply right away. Okay, so let's glue these together. Now this is printed on both sides, so it won't matter. And I inked around the edge here just in case, even though they're the exact same size. Yeah, that's an easier way to do it. And that'll give us enough glue to smush it around a little bit. It's kind of hard to get it perfect on the first try, perfectly lined up, I mean. Okay. Let's get this puppy on here. Okay, now that looks good from the front and the back. It's still pretty wet, so we'll have a commercial break. No, I won't do the Jeopardy music. What I will do is tell you this. This is an alternate way to do it. Pick an image like this off the internet. Now, I know it looks like there's gears on it, but there's not. I just cut a circle around the edge of it. And it's 3D enough that it looks like, kind of like this one does. Then you only need to cut a circle. See, I didn't double-side print this one. This was just a demo to see what it looked like when I printed it. Then you could print it double-sided and then cut the circle out. And then cut the circle out for the white piece. Hopefully you can cut a good circle. I would trace this circle onto a piece of paper. I tried to start cutting out the little teeth as well, which I discovered was an exercise in futility. But so then you could actually leave it white on the back. You could cut out another one of these and put it around the rim on the inside, and then you'd have the writing area in the middle. There's several ways you could do it without doing it this way. Okay, if you don't feel like you can cut this out and you can cut out a circle, then you could do it this way and it would look just as good. Okay, so now we're gonna put this on here. I'm just gonna lay it on here where we want it to be. Then we're going to flip it over without it moving. We're going to put another magnet on there. We're going to tape it down. Alright, I'm going to have to put you on pause. Okay, sorry about that. I know it was instantaneous for you, but it was a real pain in the rear for me. So now, this is held on by the magnet, and you can take it off and write on it, and then you can just stick it back on. And then you've got the gear. We don't need the glue anymore. See how easy this page is? I told you it was going to be easy. The hardest part is finding the gear online, I'll tell you the truth. Because you need to find industrial or industrial grunge. One of those two seem to work. So it was a real stinker though until I figured out the right search terms to find what I wanted. Okay, now we're just going to put this pin on here just like you would any pin on anything. It tends to kind of not want to act right on paper, so you have to be careful You can use the pin and pre-poke holes. I'm usually fine. We'll see. She says after she pokes the holes too far apart. Let's see if I can get this closed. I'm sorry if I go off camera. I'm trying to hold it close enough so that I can see. Almost had it. I have trouble with these to begin with. I have trouble with all safety pins to begin with. Oh, I keep thinking I've got it, but I don't. There we go. And then you just push it back down, and then it's going to hang off the page. Now all we have to do is glue this page to the backing page. What an easy page for today. Easy peasy. If you wanted to, you could have glued it to the backing page before you put the charm on, if you feel like that's getting in your way. But I feel like it would be harder to put the charm on if you did it that way. That's my opinion. Depends on, you know, how easy it is for you to do the bulb pins. And I would like to say that I'm glad that I'm not accidentally calling them pens today. And it just comes out that way. I know what it is in my head. You know what I mean? I don't literally think they are pens. It just comes out that way when I go to say it. I have no idea why. Wow, this is really strong today. I woke up this morning and my eye was all puffy and scratchy and red. I don't know why. Could have rubbed my eye in my sleep, you know, and scratched something. That looks good. Oh, that looks nice. That looks cool. All right, that's my industrial. Let's put it in the book. Can you see now why I don't think it would have worked on this rounded page? So let's move this. We'll move this over. We'll glue this in the book. And wait for the air bubble, Terry. If this is the first time you've watched one of my videos and you don't know why I do the glue this way, I don't do the centers. I think if you glue the edges well enough, there's no reason to glue the center. It's just a piece of paper. I mean, it's not Fort Knox that you're trying to keep closed. And I put the extra glue in the corners so that I can kind of move it around. I use Fabri-Tac and I get a little bit of play before it dries. Let's make sure we put the page on right side up. And put this paper on the page. Going to be close. I cut it a smidge bigger to try to help out with the gears. I ended up, this was the one. Oh no, it was the right one that I didn't glue. Well, look at that. Look at me go. And so that goes on the page like that. And we've got our charm. we have our piece that comes off. We can write on it, and then it goes back on just like that. And that's my industrial page. I hope you've enjoyed it. We're going to transition now. I'm going to have to go on the computer, and so we'll fade out and fade back into that part, and then it'll only take 5 or 6 minutes to show you how to find it online, and to show you real quick on the software and the scan and cut, because it's not difficult. Okay? All right. So that's it for this video, this part of the video. And if I remember to say it at the end of the other one, you'll hear it twice. But if I don't, then, or if you don't watch the second part, then I'll see you in the next video, and that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay? Now stay tuned for part 2. If not, bye-bye. Hi, I'm back. This is just a quick little thing to help you find your images for this project. I'm at google.com, and then you just click on images. And then when the images come up, I clicked industrial gears, I believe. Industrial gears background. And this is what I came up with. Now, this one on Pinterest is probably going to be an okay one. You'll notice once I clicked on one, then this window opened up on the side. It shows the one that I clicked on. I just happened to get lucky on that one. And then I'll show you ones that you can't use. If you click on this one, you will see that it's really small. First of all, when you put your cursor over, you can see right down here the size of the image. And so 522 by 331 is going to be too small. So that's just a thumbnail. Another one, like this one, is by Shutterstock, and all of their stuff is copywritten. And it usually has a watermark. I'm trying to find one with a watermark. And of course, now I'm trying to find one, and none of them have it. So all of these would be good images to use. I wouldn't use a Shutterstock image just because it's copywritten and I know ahead of time that it is. Let's see, iStock Photo is another one. Vector Stock is another one. I believe Dreams Time. Yes, see, they have their word Dreams Time. You may not be able to see it very well, but my cursor has a little yellow circle around it, and so you'll be able to see where I'm pointing. Okay, so it's something like that. Sometimes that would have been a really cool one actually, but you can see right here, there's a big logo right there, so obviously that one's not free. This one has nothing on it, to tell you the truth. It's a pretty cool one. If you find one you want, you just right click on your mouse and select Save Image As. And this one is 1300 by 1390. Okay, and it's a JPEG, which is what you want. If you're just going to use it for, if you're just going to print it out on the back of a page, like I explained, and then you're just going to cut it out. All right. So we're going to put it in our folder labeled industrial, and then we're just going to save it. Now, if you don't have a folder named industrial already, oh, there is a watermark on this one. It's just very faint, but it looks like there is. It looks like there's writing right there that says Alamy. So I'm assuming there's other ones on the picture that I'm just not seeing. So that's not one we could use. Let's see. And then the other way to do it is to look up gear SVG. SVG is the file type that your scan and cut is going to be able to use. Any other type of file, like a JPEG or a PNG, it's going to think there's a whole background, like a rectangle around the image, and so it won't detect it and it won't be usable. So just like with the other image, we're going to right click. This is actually the one I used. I didn't mean to do that, but this is SVG repo, and it looks like you've got a free images if you look at the ad. Um, so this is not one we could use because it's from SVG repo and it doesn't look like it's the one I used. I think it might have been this one. And it's from Wikipedia Commons, which is free to use. And 1200 by 1200. Actually, right click, save image as, and then see it says svg.png. So that's not going to work. So I did a search. Let's go here. I did a search for free SVG. And there's all kinds of them. So then you're going to want to free SVG gear. I'm going to put gears. Okay. And then now you've got a whole bunch that you could use on your scan and cut. This is the one I almost used. I believe this is the one I used. Maybe. Save image as. This is that same one. Oh no, this is the SVG. So it says gear configuration interface symbols.svg. So let me go back. Now let's say I don't already have an SVG folder to save it to. You can just click on new folder. It'll make a new folder for you, and we're just going to call it SVG2. Just because I don't want to name it SVG because that already exists. So you're going to click enter on your keyboard and then enter one more time. And you'll see no items match my search. And of course, because we just made the folder and there's no files in here. And we're going to click save. And now we have an SVG file that we can use. You're going to click on, I'm on Windows 11. So I'm going to click on start. And then I'm going to go to all apps. And then I'm going to scroll down until I get, oops, to Brother, and then Brother Canvas Workspace. And I've already got it open, so we can just click away from there. All right, so this is what the software looks like. I've got the gear image here, but to get it here, I clicked on File, and then Import from your computer. And then I went to Google Images, SVG2, and there's my SVG file. And I'm going to open it and see it's going to put the same one in there. But you can see how big it is. It's huge. So then you're going to want to click over here to where it says edit. Oh, first you have to select it. Then click where it says edit, and you'll see this screen. And right here where it says width and height, it's a circle, so it's going to be the same. You want to make sure the maintain aspect ratio is clicked, because that means that when you click it smaller, the width and the height will stay at the same ratio, which means it will shrink proportionately and it won't turn into a rectangle. When you make the width smaller, then the height doesn't stay the same. It's like dragging it from the corner, which you can also do. But I want it to be less. My page is 5 1/4. So if I cut it, which I didn't cut it this small before, but if I cut it at, let's say, 4 0.4 by 4.4. That'll be my first image that I cut out on my scan and cut. And depending on how you have it hooked up, depends on how you send it to your printer. You'll know by that time what to do. You'll just click File, whoops, Export Transfer FCM File, and then you're going to want to select to transfer it to a USB drive. If you're going to stick a USB stick into your computer, your brother scan and cut, or transfer by the internet, which just actually means the picture from the internet. This program is on the internet, and then that sends it by Wi-Fi over to your scan and cut. Okay, so whichever way you're going to do it. Then you're going to want to click the way I did it. Once I've got it the right size, I want to click File, Export, and then I select FCM via the internet, and it sends it directly to my scan and cut. And then all I have to do is import the image into my actual scan and cut machine, and it will show me the image. And then if everything is fine, then I just click Print, and it goes, or Cut, and it goes, and it cuts it out. Okay, so that's a brief overview. If you use your brother, you probably already knew how to do this part, but just in case you just got one and you didn't know, then that's what you do. Okay, so that's how to find a SVG, that's how to find a JPEG, that's how to know whether it's a copywritten image or not, and how to find websites that you can download images from. Okay, so that's it for this video, this combined video, and I will see you in the next video, and that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay, alrighty, bye-bye.